Well, good morning. This is Pastor John Huddleston from the Reynolds Memorial Baptist Church, and we are talking with Teddy, whose nickname is Mac Fry, a veteran of Vietnam, and he's placing flags here in his home cemetery near Boston, Virginia. And he's doing our little testify segment, and then a larger segment about his kin who are buried here, who are veterans with their flags, will follow at about 10 o'clock this morning. So this is the 8 a.m. thing, but on that Reynolds website, possibly YouTube, you should be able to find it. Now this particular veteran, as you can see, this veteran of World War II, his grave is very recent. It's Thomas Gibson Sr. And Thomas was buried here in June 22nd, 2019, just a year ago, and this grave still looks pretty fresh here. And now I want to introduce you to Teddy, and I'm going to have him turn around and face into the sunlight so we'll be able to hear him better, because what I've asked Teddy to do, if he doesn't mind, is just tell you about his service. He has a very impressive record, having been drafted during the Vietnam conflict. So if you don't mind starting with that basic training, just talk me through again your time in the Army.
Yeah, I was drafted in the summer of 1966, right after graduation from college, and served 2 years on active duty. I first was stationed at Fort Knox, Kentucky for basic training, and then I was shipped for AIT training at Fort Sam Houston in Texas as a medic. And after that, medics were in short supply in Vietnam, so I was shipped to Vietnam for a tour of duty as a medic. But I never worked as a field medic. I worked in the Surgeon General's office. At that time, General Collins was the Surgeon General. Westmoreland, of course, was the Vietnam commander at the time. After returning and completing my service there, I returned to Virginia, went to Virginia Tech, and went back into the reserves and served in the reserves for about 12 years. And that was in the military reserves, U.S. Army reserves. And so as a total, most of it was served in Virginia, and then I went to New Jersey when I went to my permanent job as a scientist in New Jersey, working for a pharmaceutical company, Huffman LaRoche. And after, while there, I also worked, I stayed in the reserves, and I was commissioned while there by Ronald Reagan as a captain in the Army Reserves. So I had a very long military service, which I enjoyed tremendously.
You know, Mac told me that a lot of draftees, of course, wouldn't have felt like he did, but he said, you know, he'd never been out of his out of Virginia, and maybe not so much out of Culpeper or Rappahannock or Madison counties, our Tri-County area here, and it was such an adventure for him as a young man to be in the Army. And Mac, we just want to thank you for your decades of service and for your service now to these honored dead who are buried here. God bless you, sir, and we hope you have a nice Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you very much.